Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday. My mom just texted me. Oh, I just literally messaged my mom and was like, look what was 2 years ago today. It was whenever I met Emma Chamberlain in Paris for the first time, and I just texted my mom that, and she was like, oh my god, I remember that day. Literally just texted me as that moment came in. It is currently 11 a.m. and I am just getting ready. I'm wearing my Teddy Fresh today. I'm going to go to Starbucks because allegedly pumpkin spice is back, and at my core, I am a basic white girl, and I'm very excited about that. I am exhausted, really tired. Going to London takes it out of me, but I had a nice rest. I went to bed really early. I literally went to bed at like midnight whenever I came in last night because the girls came at like 11:45. So I'm gonna go and get my pumpkin spice if they have it, and if they don't, I'll just get my iced matcha. And then I'm gonna come back, we're gonna have that moment, drink that, need to clean up the apartment a little bit because I haven't really been here for 2 days. And then we're gonna go from there. But I'm excited to have a Saturday together. The last 2 days have been incredibly chaotic, haven't filmed much, so I'm excited to be back. So let's go see if they have pumpkin spice. Okay, we're back and the rumors were true. Pumpkin spice latte! Okay, now the shocking thing is, I'm someone who has only started to like I always get so scared that the cap is not properly on. Especially since it came off while I was walking here and I nearly spilled all of it over myself. I'm someone who's only starting to like the pumpkin flavor, so for me, maybe this will be better than previous years when I tried it, but pumpkin spice latte with oat milk. Alright, first sip of the season. It's good, and you know what? They haven't put a lot of pumpkin in there. Like in previous years, it's been very overpowering. It's like a nice little hint, you know, like little, oh, it's there. Yeah, it's good. Cheers, everyone, to the season. Now, also what I got is my regular chicken Caesar wrap, but also they had this pumpkin spiced cookie, which looks really interesting. It has lots of like raisins and stuff in it, which I don't like, but I don't know if that's just because I don't like whenever schools would try and make us eat raisins and I didn't like the texture. But anyway, let's just take a mouthful of it and see. I mean, the textures are all over the place because there's like seeds and then there's like chewy things, but it's really good actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm coming or going because there's so many different textures, but it is good. Maybe I have an adult palate now. That's really good. I feel so sophisticated. There's something so nostalgic to me about when pumpkin spice comes back again, and it really is such like a typical like thing of like the white girl autumn, you know, like that meme. But there's something so nice about, and I know it's all to do with like commercialism and capitalism from these like companies, you know, just trying to get more money and stuff. That's why, you know, it's getting earlier and earlier every year. But I think there is something nice about every single year on like the September or October, knowing that you're gonna get a flavor that you only get like once a year. And it's not even just Starbucks, it's just because Starbucks is really close to me. Most cafes do it, and I know that independent cafes are probably way nicer than Starbucks. Not probably, they have way nicer coffee than Starbucks, but I don't know about all you, but for me, I will always prefer an independent coffee to a Starbucks coffee because they're normally 10 times nicer. But the problem is, I don't like trying new things, especially when it comes to food or drinks. I'm a very safe person. I don't like new flavors. I don't like thinking I'm gonna get a full plate of something and then feel like I maybe won't like it and then waste the entire thing. I kind of stick to what I know, which is why I always go to the likes of Starbucks over an independent place, because I know what I'm gonna get, even if it's not made, you know, perfectly. I know the recipe, I know kind of the flavor I'm gonna get, even if the barista, you know, half-asses it. Like, it's fine, you know. If a barista was to half-ass a drink from Starbucks or put their entire effort into it, it would taste pretty similar from Starbucks. They use like a very similar recipe and whatever, but an independent place, you know, it can range and it changes. And so with Starbucks, for me, it really boils down to the fact that it's safe and I know what I'm gonna get. And if I don't know what I'm gonna get and I don't like it, I start to freak out. So I don't know what that says about me. But I remember my friends were always into pumpkin spice a lot more than what I was whenever I was younger, because I didn't really care about the changing of seasons at all, other than Christmas or summer. And the reason for that was because fall or autumn time, to me, always represented going back to school. And for me, that was not a time I was looking forward to. So I never partook in Halloween celebrations, or I celebrated Halloween, but I was never watching Halloween movies, or I was never watching Halloween shows, or fall or autumn themed shows, or getting pumpkin spice. And the reason for that was because I didn't look forward to that time period, because it was always, you know, the 1st September was first day back at school, and that was always a very bleak time for me. I hated school. I really hated school. So there was no amount of like pumpkin or, you know, Coraline that was gonna make me happy during that time period. And I'm actually glad, because I don't associate like pumpkin spiced or movies or Halloween with school, because I didn't partake really in that whenever I was at school. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel that if I was to have watched Coraline a lot when I was going through my period of like really depressed from school, that maybe if I would watch Coraline now, I would go back to that time period of, you know, feeling really sad. Whereas I only watched Coraline for the first time a couple of years back, and I really love it, and there's no negative connotations with it, and it's an exciting movie. And I feel like the older I get, the more I can celebrate the changing seasons, and the more I can celebrate holidays, and the more fun I think it is. And, you know, Halloween was always one that was on the back burner for me, and autumn time was always my least favorite, even though it was my birthday. Like, I never really enjoyed my birthday time period at all. The older I get, the more I start to realize that actually it's the best season. It is. It's the best season. And here's why. So autumn, we call it. Fall, other people call it. I think it's the best season because it's not too cold. You can still get warm weather. You get consistent weather. For the most part, the temperature's just nice, and it's probably the nicest time period of the year, other than like May, but May can get quite hot. I think that it's just beautiful outside. I think that it's before the really hard pressures of the end of the year start hitting in, because for a lot of people, myself included, there's a lot of stress that comes at the end of the year, whether it's personal stress or work stress or just stuff you're putting on yourself. So it's before that time period. Also, more importantly, it's my birthday. So for everyone, I know that's the most exciting. No, but I know that most of my friends' birthdays are in September or October. I don't know, I just think it's a great time period. And it's funny because it was my least favorite whenever I was growing up, and it's my most favorite now. And the only reason I'm saying it's my most favorite, because if you know, I love Christmas and December, but the older you get, the more realistic in a way Christmas gets. I don't know if that is right to say or harsh to say, but I feel that the older I get, the magic of Christmas gets less and less. And this has nothing to do with Santa Claus or anything like that. I think it has to do with the stress of growing up. You know, December time for me is a time where I'm stressing about money because of tax. Like, that's whenever I pay my tax bill. Milo, stop that. He's loving going to town on the carpets. That's the time whenever I'm stressed about paying my tax, which is something obviously as a child you don't, you know, think about. It's the time period where my family are working the most, so they're all very stressed as well. And obviously it's the time period on YouTube, you know, where it's like the peak month to upload, December, so it's a pretty hectic month on YouTube, but no complaints. I really enjoy what I do. But watching my family go through the stress of the December work period really stresses me out, because I'm such an empath like Shane Dawson. What's so bizarre is the past few years has felt like Christmas has just snuck up on me, even though like I listen to Christmas music honestly from like October, September. But I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but one of the main things that stresses me out about Christmas is trying to make sure that it's everything that I and my family want it to be, which then puts a lot of pressure on the day. And I don't know, I think I really stress out, ironically, about gifting people stuff on Christmas time because I don't want to disappoint people, and then I overthink giving gifts, and then I'm like, well, this is lame, or this is boring, and they're actually not gonna like that, and are they gonna be faking their reaction when I give them this, or... And so, like, the past couple of Christmases, I've literally given my brothers money as a Christmas present, and I don't want to do that this year because it's so lazy, and I know they probably prefer it whenever I give them money because they can do whatever they want with it, but it just feels incredibly lazy on my behalf, so I want to, like, think of a present for both of them this year. I remember I was so excited last year because it was the first year that I went to Mariah Carey's Christmas show in Madison Square Garden, New York, and last Christmas was one of my favorites. So whenever I say, like, the magic has been leaving, I just mean it in different, like, adult ways. But last year was probably, like, my closest, like, childhood Christmas that I've had since I was a child. I went to Paris. Or no, sorry, I was in Brighton, and I went to the Brighton Christmas markets, then I went to the London Christmas markets, then I went to the Belfast Christmas markets, I think, or maybe not. Anyway, then I went to Paris. I went to the Paris Christmas markets, best Christmas markets in the entire world. Spent a couple days in Paris during the Christmas season, then went to New York, and was in New York right up until, like, the day before Christmas Eve or something like that. And I went to the Mariah Carey Christmas shows, I went around the Christmas markets, I did so many Christmassy things in New York. It was always my dream. I could literally cry thinking about it, and I don't know why oh my god, because it really was always such a dream to go to New York during Christmas time, and that came true last year. I don't know why I'm about to cry. It is what, like, not even 1 p.m, it's 12 p.m, I don't want to cry. It really was special. So I would love to do that again this year if the opportunity came up. And I also spent a lot of time back home during Christmas time last year, whereas I haven't in the past. I've spent like a week or so. Last year I spent a lot of time coming and going from Ireland and saw my parents a lot, and saw my brothers a lot. So, I don't know, I think whenever you become an adult, you know, there's different responsibilities, there's different stress things, and I don't know, I think my effort for this year is to make the most of every season. And obviously if I'm filming, I'm gonna try my best as well, so you can be a part of that. But, you know, September right now, like, let's do September-y things. And then whenever October comes, let's fucking carve pumpkins. Let's watch I'm like literally holding off on, it's so ironic because I'm listening to Christmas music right now, but I'm refusing to allow myself to watch any Halloween movies until October. Don't know why. If you have any Halloween movie recommendations, please write them down below, because I have only seen like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline. Have not seen like Halloween Town, I think it's called, or all these other ones. I love Monster House. If you have any Halloween movie recommendations, please write them down below. Or if you have any like fall, autumn, you know, movies or anything, please write them down below. I'm gonna try my best to come up with as many things that we can do to like celebrate this fun season. I'm drinking a fucking pumpkin spice latte and it is roasting outside. It is so warm. We're going through the worst heat wave right now. It's supposed to leave tomorrow and I've never been so excited in my entire life. I think we had an entire summer of rainy piss weather, and that was when I would have appreciated summer weather. But now I've like mentally moved past summer, so this weather feels like an inconvenience to me. I'll be honest. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy my coffee and I will see you all literally in a couple seconds when it cuts to the next clip, but I will enjoy this and then talk to you later. Bye. Hello everyone. So they're playing Dance Monkey, which is the worst song ever, but I currently came into the bar. It is really, really, really hot outside. As you can see, this is my view right now. The pier is just right down there, but it is incredibly, incredibly hot in town, and I haven't been able to film anything because it is so crowded. It's probably the most crowded I've seen Brighton in a very long time, so I decided to come into the bar at, I don't know what time it is, like 3 p.m. or something like that, or 4 p.m. And I ordered a cocktail, and I got 2, but I want to show you. I went into the shops and I bought a couple things, but first of all, I want to try this. I got a Sex on the Beach, well, 2 Sex on the Beach, hold on. Okay. Refreshing. My friend Cassidy made these. I love her so much. It was a delight seeing her. I haven't been to this bar or a bar in a while. A while for me could be literally a couple days. But this bar specifically, which is our bar, it's one of the gay bars. I haven't been here in a very, very, very long time. And there's only me and like 7 other customers. I'm upstairs though, so there's no one else really here. But I want to show you what I got. So I went into this like baby toy store or something like that, and they had so many really cute teddies that I for sure want to get. But I saw that they had this pumpkin that I really wanted. Where's that noise coming from? This is it. It is so cute. It was £36, which is a lot of money, but it's gonna be the first ever Halloween decoration that I have that I'm gonna like keep and have a tradition, and it's really cute and really well made. So I got this in a children's toy store. There was like a little Halloween section. I got this, and then I went into Snipper's Paradise, which is, by the way, I brought my vlog camera, but it's dead. Good job, Adam. I went into Snipper's Paradise, which is like a vintage place that has like a lot of old stuff in it. And I went in today, and normally I go in and I don't really see anything that I like. By the way, I got new sunglasses from a retro place, but I did get something in there that I saw and was like, I need to put this in my kitchen. Wait for it. It's this little frog. It was £19. It's this little frog that has a crown on it, and sorry, but I couldn't not get this. This is so cute. I just wonder what the life this frog had before me. Like, did it belong to an old person? Did it belong to a family? Did it belong to someone my age? What is his story? And if we could get some names down below. But I could not buy this. This will be sitting in my kitchen. There's also so many like seagull things in the shop that I was gonna get. And I was gonna get them because of like the memories of Brighton. But at a certain stage, my entire new apartment in Manchester is just gonna have so much seagull shit. So let's not do that. Anyway, this is really good, really refreshing. I said to my friend Cassidy, I was like, whatever the most refreshing drink is, babe, I'll take it. And she was like, I got you. Sex on the beach. Also, one thing I want to say that is really annoying me is it's really, really, really hot today, like incredibly hot. And the ground is incredibly warm through my black shoes. And there are so many people walking their dogs. And it's just like, if you were to put your feet on the ground and your feet would start burning, don't bring your dogs out. Just don't be that person who brings their dog out walking in really extreme temperatures. Like, your dog is not going to tell you that its feet are burning. You should have the common knowledge to know already. I've been seeing like pet owners walking their dog and they're very clearly out of breath and sweating and they have their shirts off and stuff, and then they have their dog that has like so much fur and is panting and they have no water for it, and it's like, don't be that person who brings their dog out in extreme temperatures for a walk, like at the peak time of the day. Like, it's a different thing if you like wait until it cools down later on, but seriously at like peak time at like 3 p.m. That's why I'm not bringing my girls out right now. I mean, Bonnie would literally die, but like Dolly would faint. One of the last days that I took her out, it got too hot and I had to carry her home. Don't be that person who literally makes their dog walk through scorching ground that has had the sun beaming on it for hours. Don't do it. Please look out for your dogs. It really, really, really bothers me, and it makes me so sad seeing all these dogs very clearly struggling with the heat and their owners are still taking them out on a walk. It's okay to leave your dogs at home for the day that it's incredibly hot, especially if you don't have any water for them. Sorry for my little rant, but I'll leave it there. Hello everyone. So it is still so hot. I have the girls right here. It is still so hot. Hold on, Bonnie wants to come say hello to you. I'm getting ready because I'm gonna go out soon. My friends are already out right now, but I'm like pushing it off and off and off because it's so hot in the apartment. And I've just been waiting for the moment, like this top is even too heavy to wear. But one thing I do want to talk about is I actually want to apologize for something. In my vlog yesterday, or 2 days ago or something like that, I talked about MSG, which is, you know, the thing you put in your food. And I talked about it kind of flippantly, and I said, my friends Emily and Aaron have MSG, and they put it in their food, and I was like, why do you put that in your food? Like, isn't that the thing that McDonald's puts in your food that, you know, is really bad? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, that is something I always believed. I always believed that MSG was something that was put in fast food and makes it addictive, and is the thing that keeps you addicted to McDonald's, or keeps you addicted to fast food. I put the girls out in the balcony because I actually want to talk about this without being interrupted. My connotation of believing what MSG was the thing that keeps fast food addictive. Like it was a kind of the equivalent of, you know, like a salt or something, and it makes the food taste really, really, really good, but makes the food really addictive. And through growing up in schools, I only ever heard whenever we would get like dietitians coming in telling us that MSG was the thing that makes food addictive, and that's why McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and all these places use it. So I want to say hand to God that even in school, the only thing I was ever taught in the connotation of MSG was that it is the addictive thing that's put in food that's really, really, really bad for you. And I talked about this in my video yesterday, and I think to kind of show you more that I really didn't know anything, because I would not have said anything, was that I said it so flippantly, where I was like, my friends Emily and Aaron had this and we were cooking dinner and they put it in their dinner, and I was like, why are you putting that in there? Isn't that the thing McDonald's uses and it's really, really, really bad for you? Well, a lot of you let me know in the comment section that saying that MSG is bad for you, or that MSG is unhealthy, is a statement that is rooted in racism. And I've been looking into this, and I saw that there's a news article about it, and I wanted to read it on here because I said that statement in my vlog, so I also want to combat it with what the truth is. And I really want to be, I want to be 100% honest that I didn't know anything further than what I knew. But there's this article from Insider that says, racism made us believe that MSG was dangerous. Now chefs are bringing the once controversial seasoning back into the spotlight. And it says, MSG has been branded as a dangerous food ingredient for decades, especially associated with Chinese cuisine. The problematic controversy isn't rooted in science, though, it's rooted in racism. And chefs of today are advocating to debunk this dated myth about the ingredient's health impacts. And so whenever I was reading through this article, hi Milo, it says, in 2019, Lucky Lee's, a fast casual Chinese American restaurant in New York City, closed its doors after less than a year in business. According to a since deleted Instagram post, the owner vowed to serve clean Chinese food that included less salt, grease, and would leave customers feeling less bloated and icky. While the white-owned restaurant was met with immediate backlash for racist rhetoric, its original premise to improve Chinese food fit for its refined Western palate sheds light on a prolonged battle between Chinese food industry and the racist myths about a once commonly used ingredient, MSG. So it says MSG is a popular flavored enhancer that has been popularized as a harmful processed additive mostly found in Chinese dishes. Well, for me, I always thought that it was that, which was a harmful processed additive, but my knowledge of it was always just being told in schools that it was put in fast food. And fast food for me, even like I said in my video, was the equivalent of McDonald's. But in researching it, it is, you know, mainly associated with Chinese dishes. Despite a plethora of scientific evidence that says the opposite, not only has MSG been deemed GRAS, generally recognized as safe by the FDA, it is also naturally occurring in some foods such as tomato products, protein isolates, and cheeses. Everything from chips to condiments and frozen meals and fast foods are likely sorry, I'm messing up my words here because I'm annoyed that I didn't know this beforehand, are likely to contain MSG. Bonbon, be quiet. Hold on. We have someone here who is desperately trying to get my attention. Hi, Milo. Hi. We're having a discussion right now. That's why I'm not giving you a lot of attention. Sorry. So then this article goes on to say, Chinese restaurant syndrome. The debate of whether MSG is safe for consumption began in 1968 when a doctor wrote a letter titled Chinese Restaurant Syndrome to the New England Journal of Medicine, complaining of falling ill after eating at a Chinese restaurant. The story sparked outrage against the ingredient, quickly spreading the idea that Chinese food was dangerous. A year later, a scientific paper identifying MSG as the cause of Chinese restaurant syndrome was published and claimed it would be the cause of headaches, burning sensations, facial pressure, and chest pain. It wasn't until 2020 that Merriam-Webster redefined its definition of Chinese restaurant syndrome from a group of symptoms such as numbness of the neck, arms, and back with headache, dizziness, and palpitations that is held to affect persons eating food, and specifically Chinese food heavily seasoned with MSG. And it's now what they're saying is offensive and undated. The so-called syndrome is one of the many examples of a viral thing that is being placed on a group or country or a group of people, and its effects are dangerous. Considering the COVID-19 global pandemic that former US President Donald Trump constantly publicly referred to as the Chinese virus, shortly his racist rhetoric hit the mainstream. Hate crimes against the Asian American community surged. Similarly, MSG myths impacted the Chinese food industry, so much so that no MSG restaurants lists existed all over the internet, and many Chinese takeouts restaurants still advertise against MSG use today. And then it talks about reclaiming MSG. I noticed some Chinese American takeout places have no MSG signs, but they're actually lying because I know some of the sauces they use contain MSG. They may be referring to the fact no added MSG, said Keegan Fong, owner of Woon in historic Los Angeles. While dishes at Woon do not have added MSG, Fong says that some of the ingredients and sauces already contain it. Almost all of our main dishes contain traces of MSG because almost all dark soy sauces contain a little bit of MSG, he said, shedding light on how commonly the ingredient is consumed. Yet, Juan still receives calls from potential customers asking if the restaurant uses MSG. It's a complex answer because almost all Italian restaurants also contain MSG in their food. So it's kind of an annoying question because we may actually be using less MSG than other cuisines. Because we are a Chinese restaurant, sorry, my phone just logged out there. But we've lost customers because of this. Calvin Ang, lead chef and owner at Bonnie's in Brooklyn, New York, has had a similar experience. People still email us to give a list of dishes that don't contain MSG, noting that the list is short: rice and a fruit plate. At Bonnie's, everything from Bloody Marys to desserts contain MSG, something he takes pride in. Many people still aren't comfortable with the ingredient, and I'm trying to educate and change that by being pro-MSG. I'm proud to use it and I advertise it, he said, even on his left arm where he had MSG with a heart tattooed 4 years ago. Everyone assumes that it's bad for you. All data suggests that MSG is not harmful for you. In fact, people consume it in large amounts, said award-winning chef David Chang at the 2012 MAD Awards in Denmark. People who say they're allergic to MSG will happily dip their sushi in soy sauce or eat a miso soup. Chang is one of the many public figures who advocates for MSG use publicly and passionately, in addition to independent restaurants and chefs taking individual steps to advertise or not completely write off the use of MSG in dishes. Several campaigns like No MSG advocate for debunking the myths surrounding the ingredient and are helping bring it back into the mainstream. So, what I want to say after reading all that is that I spread a harmful stereotype in my video, and I didn't know that I did it. Hand to God, I didn't know that I did it, but I did, and that's a problem. And so I want to apologize to absolutely anyone because that listened to that and thought that I was making a racial stereotype, because it was not that at all. It was simply the fact that I grew up going to school, having talks with health counselors where they would come in, they would do the food pyramid, and they would talk about fast foods are over here, chocolates are over here, and there's lots of MSG in it. That's why it's always stayed in my head. I've never researched it throughout the years, and maybe that's a problem that I have not done that, because that article's been available for many years. You know, who's to say? But it was a split in the moment thing whenever I went to my friend's house and they were using it, and I hadn't heard of it or thought about it since being in school when we were brought up like that. And whenever I said it in my video, because I said it so flippantly, it goes to show that it literally was just a thing where I was like, oh, and then, you know, this is MSG, that's the thing that's in fast foods. And looking into it more, saying that is a racial stereotype, and it pushes this agenda against Chinese food and Chinese food restaurants and trying to boycott them. And and scary ingredients when it's actually just the same as salt. And I really do want to apologize if anyone took that as me being insensitive or trying to further push a stereotype. And the reason I wanted to read all of that through was because I said it on this platform, and I want to say this again, clearing that up. I really, really, really apologize. I did not mean that at all. And it's also something that I've learned. It's also something that I've learned. And learning is a great thing. And yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was commenting that, because I did not know it beforehand. And yeah, if anyone wants to do a little bit of research on it, there are plenty of articles out there that really, really, really debunk things that I thought from childhood to now through my schooling years and dietitians and stuff. Anyways, I did just want to sit down and talk about that. Again, I do want to apologize to anyone who listened to that and, I mean, very clearly thought I was pushing a stereotype. I did not mean for it to be like that at all, so I really do apologize for that. Okay, so I have done an outfit change into something that'll be a little bit cooler because it is so fucking goddamn hot outside right now. I'm trying to set this up here. Hello? There we go. It is this top that I wore when I met Rina Sawayama. It's a nice little moment. So tonight we are going to the bar. Well, we're actually going to a couple bars. They want a bar hop, which I'm excited for, actually. I love bar hopping. I'm kind of out of my clubbing phase right now. Let me order my Uber, actually. I'm out of my club phase. Look at the sky right now. It looks beautiful. I don't know what it is. I used to love clubbing, and then I became overly aware of myself whenever I was clubbing, and I find myself really cringy. And then I would wake up the next morning and I'd be like, I hate everything I did last night. I can't remember everything I did last night. So then I stopped going to the club. Got my Irish passport. Love it. So I can order my Uber now. So we're going to the first bar, which is called Wagon and Horses. And I prefer bars now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love this fucking Sylvanian family so much. What I wanna do is buy a bunch of Sylvanian families in different setups. I don't know if I've said this, for my new apartment. So like a bathroom set for my bathroom, or a kitchen set for my kitchen or something like that. Okay, let me order my Uber, and I'm going to get my aftershave if I know where it is. I don't know where it is, but these little peanut things, they are so good. They're like my favorite snack in the entire world. Okay, how far am my Uber gonna be? 3 minutes? Ah! Okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Goodbye. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 4:25 a.m.
Okay, so it is 4:25 a.m. I'm currently back from my night out. I had a McDonald's, gave a chicken nugget or two to the girls. You didn't hear anything. They did not have 3 chicken nuggets each. You did not, no, that is not what happened. I had a great night out with my friends. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm very tired. Do you wanna say hello? Do you wanna say hello? Or do you wanna go to bed? Or do you wanna go to bed? Or do you wanna go to bed? Apparently tomorrow is going to be not as hot, which I'm very excited for. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you right now. Love you and leave you. Goodbye.